The Exxon Valdez oil spill stunned the world and has stood for 20 years as a symbol of corporate misconduct and oil industry greed. But in 3 short weeks, the oil spill from an out-of-control oil well disaster in the Gulf of Mexico has eclipsed the Valdez. Late on the night of April 20th, 50 miles from the shore of Louisiana, a fire broke out aboard the Transocean Deepwater Horizon oil rig under lease by BP. After a massive explosion, the rig was consumed by fire, later collapsing and sinking into the Gulf. Safeguards set in place to automatically cap the oil well in case of catastrophe did not work as expected, and now estimates originally claimed by BP to be 5,000 barrels of crude oil are thought to be as high as 50,000 barrels of crude pouring into the Gulf of Mexico every day and could possibly continue to do so for months. We may never know the reasons for this disaster, be they misconduct, human error, or accident due to forces outside our ability to predict. What we do know is that lax oversight by our federal agencies and a willingness to indulge the oil corporations by our federal government has emboldened an already arrogant and reckless industry. As BP flails in the oil-contaminated Gulf of Mexico, failing to stop the flow of oil, which is as much as 10 times greater than BP has publicly acknowledged, they also fail to contain and clean up the massive quantity of oil already drifting in the Gulf. What follows is some dramatic insight into the level of arrogance and incompetence within the BP booming and cleanup operation. There is some strong language here. There is a reason for it. Stay tuned and you'll be able to do a better job than BP is doing.
Oil Spill Booming School. I've been in oil and gas production and exploration for over 30 years. My salary is a little bigger than God's, which is okay because I'm more useful than he is. I'm a better cook than God is too, but let's get back on subject here. Booming School. Not only is oil spill booming a large industry in the USA, teaching oil spill booming is a large industry in the USA. Most of BP's production and pipeline employees in the USA have attended at least one booming school. Many have attended 2 or 3. Most oil and gas production employees in the USA have attended booming school. Some of us have attended really good, really extensive week or 2-week booming schools. BP's production employees have attended the best booming schools. I know this. I've seen them there. BP's drilling folks have mostly not attended booming school. They're sometimes sent to a booming school, but they f*** off in the bar and their bosses sign off on that being okay. Because for drilling hands, booming is for This is a generalization. Not all drilling hands think that, but most of them do, and I guarantee BP's drilling executives think that booming is for and that's if they think about booming at all, or even know what it is. That's not so shocking. In the major oil companies, there are likely a few drilling executives that don't even know what drilling is. I'm not kidding. There's good BP drilling people who would, in private, back me up on that. Generally, boom is long and bright orange or yellow. It is not bright orange or yellow so you can see it, dear fledgling boomer, but so governors, senators, presidents, and the media can see it. It has a round, floaty part that floats and a flat skirt that sinks. A rule. The floaty part never floats high enough and the skirt never rides low enough. Some oil will always go over the boom and some will always go under it. Our task is to minimize both. Here, this picture teaches you almost 100% of what you'll learn in booming school. Boom is not meant to contain or catch oil. Boom is meant to divert oil. Boom must always be at an angle to the prevailing wind, wave action, or surface current. Boom, at this angle, must always be layered, another string of boom. Boom must always divert oil to a catch basin or other container. Done properly, you can remove by far most of the oil from a shoreline, and you can do it day after day, week after week, month after month. You can prevent by far most of the shoreline from ever being touched by more than a few transient molecules of oil. A week after the oil stops coming ashore, no one, man nor beast, can ever tell there has been oil anywhere near that shoreline. In practice, there's a reason the best booming schools last weeks. Different types of shoreline, different shapes require different configurations. Your numerous anchor points for this spill, those would be 1-yard cement blocks with tie-off buoys, need to be chosen so the boom tenders, you, can adjust the ropes, slanting the booms this way and that to account for changes in wind and current. Booms are tended 24/7, by the way, but just having learned what you've learned here today, you know enough of the concept to figure it out. You get it. You could go out there and watch how the ping pong balls, your test oil, glide along the boom. You could see where they miss the catch basins and you could adjust and reconfigure. By the 3rd day of actual booming, no one on this planet would be better than you. So if you understand it, and all of these production employees understand it, we're talking tens of thousands of people here, then why is most or all of the booming along the Gulf being done wrong? 1. The booming is being run by a company that concentrates on drilling, and booming is for Production employees were not invited because they would just cause trouble. This is a drilling operation. 2. There's not enough boom, rope, nor anchor on this planet to properly boom the northern Gulf Coast of Mexico. There should be. It's not that much of an expense. Really, it's not. They said they were ready. Having enough material is part of being ready. They're not ready, are they? 3. Governors, senators, presidents, and most of all the media don't know what booming looks like. So you can lay a single line of neon glow orange boom out parallel to the shore for miles, with anchor points every quarter mile to where a good part of it washes up onto the shore like a huge dead orange nightcrawler, and they won't know the difference. Where it manages to stay off the bank, a little 2-foot chop you would let your kids frolic in will send all the oil either over or under it. All the oil. On the shore, in the reeds, on the beach, in the nests, oil. So what? It's not going to make CNN send a single correspondent to booming school, is it? Now the Coast Guard, they know booming. They know what booming looks like. Coast Guard Commandant Admiral Thad Allen should be fired. Today. Now. This minute. Before he can give another press conference echoing what BP said not 5 minutes before him. Then he should be court-martialed and sent to prison before BP can give him a goddamn job. I couldn't find any pictures of proper booming from along the Gulf because there aren't any. Oh, and by the way, BP, there are days, if not weeks, worth of video of each of those 3 leaks, yet you show us 10 seconds of the smallest one, the one you plugged. Your only success. Now you're going to try a junk shot and or a top kill. You say you know either of these could make the leaks worse, possibly much worse. Well, show us the goddamn leaks before and after. We have a right to know if you made it worse, and we're tired of taking your word for anything. It's our seafloor, not yours.